Hi, it's Jared from TheTouringCamper.com here, and we're with our 1976 Silver Streak, nicknamed Tilly. And these were really well-built trailers. They were one of the top of the line when they were built from the 50s all the way up through the 80s. Some superior things, but the one area that everybody knows is a weak point on these are these hinges. It has a very unique door system. So there's this inner door, which will have a screen on it, and then the main door. And it's usually not a factor of if these hinges will fail, but a matter of when they will fail. So there is a gentleman from Texas, Eddie, who has had a very high quality hinge remanufactured out of a top quality stainless steel. And we are going to replace these hinges, both of them, today. It's a pretty involved process. We're going to do two things. I'm going to do a step-by-step video of it. I'm also going to, for one of the hinges, for the other hinge, I'll put it in a hyperlapse and you can watch our progress on it. I'm going to have a gentleman friend of mine coming over to help me with this today. But that's the deal for today. We're going to get these reinstalled so that Tilly's not going to lose this door, because that's the danger. If these hinges fail as you're going down the road, which we already have some breaks in the hinges and some weak spots, this whole door can just come popping off, flying off, and then you've got a huge expense replacing one of these doors. Some folks have said upwards of $6,000 to have one of these doors replaced or remanufactured. So the hinges are a good investment. I'll put some information in the link below to where you can find these if you're a Silver Streak owner and you're looking to replace your hinges. All right, so one of the things that Eddie has done, he has given an incredible, very good, it took me 11 pages to print it in some big type, directions. So the first set of the directions is we need to prepare, there's a tape. We're going to use an Eternabond tape. It's a double stick. It's similar to the stuff that I used on top of the camper. It is extremely adhesive. He's not kidding when he says there's no solvent that exists for this. So you've got to get this step right. So that's the first thing we deal with, is cutting the tape so that we have tape that's appropriate for each of our different clover leaves, or each of our leaves, and our main hinge plate. So it comes in a 24-inch strip. He has it wrapped in wax paper, which makes it really nice to actually cut. I use WD-40 on my scissors, just sprayed them up a little bit. And then you go through the directions and you're gonna cut 5 different pieces. You'll cut one. Your first cut is going to be exactly, let me check the directions here, but it should be 7 inches long, so that, as you can see there, that's kind of it folded up there, it'll fit perfectly on that leaf. Then you're going to take 2 pieces, because it only comes in strips 2 inches wide. You're going to cut 2 that are at 4.5 inches long and 2 that are 3 inches long. And then what I did is you just take them, and I left them in the wax paper and pushed them just together so they're side by side, nice and even. Laid them on the table, took a Sharpie marker, drew around it with a Sharpie marker, and then cut that out using the scissors. And I did that for both the 6-leaf and the 4-leaf. Okay, so that's how I got those cut out, and those are prepped and ready to go. I'm leaving them in the wax paper until we need to get them ready to affix to the camper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the second set, but that's the first step, is preparing the tape so that you're all ready to go with that. So the next step is prepping the hinge and getting the tape affixed to it and putting holes where the rivets are going to come through. So what you need to do is you need to take some rubbing alcohol, make sure you get it all cleaned down really nice and well. Only take off one side of the backing. Really important, because it's super sticky. It's actually the hardest part that I'm finding so far, is getting your finger in there and just pulling that backing off so that you can stick one to each of the leaves and to the main base plate. Then once you have that done, I took my utility knife, put a little WD-40 on that as well, and then I just made little cross marks in each of the tape spots where I know a rivet's going to be coming through, just to help that rivet get through there whenever it does come time for that. Do not take the backing off this side. Also, keep in mind, you want the tape always to be on the side that is going to be affixed to the trailer. So as you can tell, this will be affixed here, this will be affixed to the inner door, and this will be affixed to the main door. And I wanted to make sure the tape is on the side that is actually going to be touching between the hinge and the camper. If you put it on the other side, you will never get this tape off, and I have no idea how you're going to proceed. So, caution, get the tape on the right side. So, I'm going to put it in hyperlapse as I do this other one so you can watch me do it, and that way you can see it 2 different ways. All right, now that we have the hinges all prepped and ready to go, the next thing we need to do is we need to prep these old rivets to be able to take out. So the first thing we do is we have this inner door, it's locked here and closed. This door, you want to make sure that all of your inner latches that are holding these would be either removed or duct taped out of the way so this door can swing freely. We are going to put duct tape on here and here and here to help hold this door in place when it comes time to actually remove those. But I'm not going to do that yet because I want to leave the duct tape on this surface as little amount of time as possible because duct tape just leaves behind residue and it's hard to get off. So we'll use it because we need to, but we're going to use it as little time as possible. But to prepare to be able to remove these hinges, one of the keys is these old rivets, you need to be able to drill them exactly in the center without your step bit that Eddie provides bouncing off these in any way, shape, or form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Dremel and I'm going to go to each rivet and I'm just going to grind down a little bit so that it's a nice flat surface so that when we go to drill with that step bit, we can get right in the center of that rivet. So that's the next step. I'll give you an up-close view once I get a couple of them done. All right, we're in here close, and as you can see, these bottom two I took the Dremel to with just a little sander on it. And if you look, I can see right there in the middle is the dimple where I'm going to want to drill compared to these up here that are that way. Let's see if I can get the door out on its side. See if you can look down the door quite that way. You can see how I've got those two flat and the two that are rounded. It's about the best I can do with the camera, but that way we can drill right in the center of each one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on all the rivets so they're going to be ready to remove. The goal is to leave these doors attached to the camper as much as we possibly can so we don't have to take them out, try to realign them and all those kind of things. So as you can see, I've got these all ground down now, and then we're going to duct tape the main door in. We're not going to duct tape this door quite yet because what we're going to do is the sequence of removal and replacement. Well, removal first. First removal, we're going to drill out this 6 rivet inner plate, so that'll be free. Then we'll close this door back up and we'll tape this door down. Then we'll take out these 4 rivets. After those 4, what will be supporting this door is the top hinge and the duct tape. We'll then take out these 8 rivets. Once we do that, we're gonna have to clean up this section of the camper, get all this cleaned off. I've got my acetone ready, I've got my scraper ready, all those kind of things ready. And then we'll put the new hinge back on. And when we put the new hinge back on, you put the 8 in first, then you're gonna put the 4 in, then you'll remove this duct tape, you'll swing this open, and you'll put the 6 on, and then that hinge will be complete. And then we'll have to repeat the process with the top. So I'm waiting for Bob, he's almost here, and when he gets here, we're gonna go ahead and start this process so that we can show you how this goes. We'll kind of take video of this one, and then when we go to do the upper one, like I said, I'll do a hyperlapse.